Hey everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I am Peter, that is Connor, and we are going to talk about The Flash Season 3, Episode 2. It's called Paradox. Full spoilers for the episode will follow. I am really happy with what they did in this episode.
Me too, because I think I mentioned last week we were a little concerned that they wrapped it up so quickly, Flashpoint.
Yeah, I think it's a combination of that, but it was also just this episode on its own. Like, there was a point early on in the episode where I was worried where they were going with things.
Right, okay. I was just glad to see them dealing with the consequences.
So was that. Like, first things first, I'm happy there was consequences. Like, and it was kind of a dark episode of Flash as far as the Flash goes, and I'm glad for that because there needed to be hard-hitting repercussions.
Yeah.
So that Barry just couldn't go, I'll just go back in time and fix things again, which he tries to do at one point, and Jay, bitch slaps him and says, no, don't be silly.
For a while, this was looking like the darkest timeline.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Troy and Abed and Darkest Timeline. But no, there was real repercussions, and the worry I had at one point in this episode is that I was worried that Barry wasn't going to tell them, because there was a moment where he had the chance, and then there was a moment where Iris even asked him, what are you keeping from us? And I felt like he was going to dance around it, and I'm like, Barry, tell them.
Enough with the bloody secrets.
Yeah, enough. But he did. He told them, and it was... And not only that, it got quite uplifting when Iris, stood her ground and said, you know what, everyone?
Yeah.
Let's forgive him. And I liked that she stood up for him. It was kind of like justifying or showing their bond in a way we've not seen quite before.
Yeah.
They did a good job with Iris. I feel like Iris is less just there to be the relationship person.
I feel Iris and Wally have both been significantly better this season already than they have been before.
Yeah. So that is really good stuff. Of course, Rival gets his powers back from Alchemy, Dr. Alchemy, I should say. Sorry, Cisco. And he's getting like memories of the Flashpoint world.
It's interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because he says he remembers it all, and obviously he references Kid Flash, and it's like, okay, and so he does have actual knowledge.
Yeah, and Dr. Alchemy says he's preparing the world for something, and of course when he says he's preparing the world for something, my first thought is he trying to cause a crisis? What's going on?
That's what I went to too.
Is that what's going on here?
Yeah.
But no, so that was all great stuff. And of course the big thing came out of that is Barry thinks that everyone who had powers in Flashpoint will get them, which makes some sense because we're expecting Wally to.
Yeah, and it implies that these husks that have been showing up are all husks of people who did have powers, and they're getting them back, which is why this guy just got his. So there was 4 others or 3 others.
Yeah. As an output, just to jump back to Barry telling them again, I actually really liked that he gave them the choice if they want to know what's changed.
Yeah.
I thought that was a good idea, because he's like, I have to live with all these changes, and he has to live with the fact that Cisco's brother's dead because of what he did. So I understood that why he gave them that choice, and I think it makes a lot of sense. So
Yeah.
that's good. What's his face? Draco Malfoy showed up. He's been there a year apparently in this timeline. Barry's partner, who Barry hates and constantly says so.
I really liked him, actually. I thought it was a really good addition.
I did too. I actually wasn't sure if he knew he was the Flash. Like, it's a couple of points in this.
Me too.
Because when he was saying, how did you know his name? And he then says, because you must have swiped his DNA. I thought he was saying, how did you know his name? As in, how did you go and deal with him as the Flash?
Yeah, I thought that too.
Because everyone else seemed to know who he was as well. Like, everyone seemed to know his name and knew that Barry hated him. It didn't just seem like they knew him because of Barry. It felt like they all knew him.
Yeah.
So maybe there'll be more.
I thought maybe they've just consulted with him at some point, though.
Probably.
He is a metahuman specialist.
Very true. Yeah. It was a very, very full episode with a lot of stuff that was potentially going to be very annoying, but didn't. Like, even Felicity at the start, like, she's really just a vehicle for Barry to tell everything. Which, by the way, there's one change in Arrow that we do discover. Diggle no longer has a daughter; he has a son who's like a couple of years older.
I can't even fathom what the point of this change was.
I think it's just for a joke. I think it's for the people who watch Arrow and don't watch Flash, and then Diggle will suddenly have a son, and they'll all be like, "What? What happened?"
Oh, I know what it is. It's just occurred to me. So he called the daughter Sarah after Sarah when she died, and then they brought her back to life. So it's like, well, There's no point in naming her after that anymore.
Well, he was a few years older, so theoretically he was born before
Yeah.
that would have even happened.
Yeah.
So, yeah. What was it? Was it just John? What did you call it?
I don't even remember if they said.
They did say his name, but yeah, I think it was just John Jr., but I could be wrong. Oh well. Anyway,
I know why they've done it as well. Because of the Legends episode, where they're in the future.
Yeah, Connor, Talk.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, very good. Well, neat little retcon there, guys.
Yeah.
Made that work somehow.
Just having him had another kid would have done just the job just as well, to
it
be
would
honest.
have been, but sure, we'll take it. Oh, dear. But yeah, so Cisco's brother's dead. Caitlin is revealed to have her Killer Frost powers at the end of the episode.
Interesting going forward with that, I think.
Yeah. And given that they're making her a hero in the comics now, I feel like they're probably going to keep her on the good side of things, but she'll be an ally. Vibe has full-on Quake powers, if you've been watching Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Pretty much.
Yeah, he can do the shock waves and stuff. That was the thing.
We saw a few glimpses of it last season, but this was controlled.
Yeah, this was more him actually dealing with things, and he might actually be an ally who comes out onto the field and helps beat up people.
Back mid-season.
Probably. So yeah, that's all the major point. Obviously, Iris and Joe were fighting because he kept her mother being alive a secret, which we'd seen be okay.
Yeah.
But now it wasn't. So, I thought all the changes for the most part made sense.
Yeah.
And I liked how they dealt with it. I liked that there was consequences as kind of my main takeaway.
Yeah, I think that was the most important thing. They spent an entire episode just, no, look, there are consequences to this, and even though it was only a one-episode thing, it mattered.
Yeah, he can't just go and do this now, and I think that's important that they've shut that door. He can't just go and,
Yeah. I really liked having Jay be the one to come and tell him this as well. Like, look, you've heard it all, but not only from theoretical people. I've made these mistakes myself.
Yeah. Also, it's 1998 in Jay's Earth, or
I just got the impression he just followed him back in the time stream and grabbed him out at that point.
Okay. Right. Sure. Yeah.
I didn't think, that's where he was. I just thought, he's just grabbed him here because we see him grabbing out of the time.
Yeah. True. Still, though, I actually kind of like the idea that his world is in 1998 because he's meant to, because Jay's a Golden Age character and it's meant to be in the past. Not that 1998's Golden Age, but it's older.
Comparatively, yeah.
Compared to 2016, it's a bit older.
Yeah. Yeah, it makes sense.
So yeah, are we leaving anything? I saw a rampage through most of that. I guess. Well, some cool fight stuff. I liked when Flash is fighting the rival, and he they're speeding through the city and he hits them and he actually sort of he almost crashes through the street.
Yeah, I thought the CG looked a little bit wonky at that point.
It did, but they always do when they do these big slow motion super speed fights.
And I noticed it more than normal, though. Just the bit where he was crashing through the city, where the body was flying through. Like, that bit was a little bit more noticeably awkward than usual.
Yeah, well, I think it's because it was such a big concept thing. Normally they'll just have them speeding past or whatever, but this was full on hitting off of things, and I'll take the hitting effects for the cool moment.
Yeah, I will too. Also, I don't know if they've been doing it all the time, but I only just noticed they do when they do the punch, they kind of just speed up the one hand to get the power. Like when the speedsters are fighting. I don't know if you noticed it.
I noticed it in this one, when he's fighting.
I don't know if they've been doing that before, but I really liked it in this.
It was more noticeable here, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. So no, I thought it was a solid episode. I thought it was better than the first one.
I did too.
Because I think it dealt with all the consequences in a much better way. And of course, Barry and Iris are still a thing. They were still on the precipice. And I love that Barry pointed out that every time he kisses Iris, he ends up erasing it from history.
I know. It cracked me up.
Oh, God. So, no.
The other thing that cracked me up as well, when they're all at dinner and the metahuman app goes off. It all goes off and they're all checking their phones like, yep, metahumans. And they all run off and Wally's just sat there eating dinner still.
He needs his powers. He needs something to do.
He's just on his own.
That said, when he was hanging around in the in Star Labs with them while they were figuring things out, he felt like he belonged. He didn't feel out of place.
No, absolutely.
So that's nice. That's a nice thing going forward. But no, it was a good episode. We kind of rushed through that quicker than usual, but it was pretty clear cut.
It was, yeah. Like it was just here's what happened. Now let's deal with it.
Yeah, and they all know stuff's changed, and they're dealing with it. And yeah, there was some fun stuff with Barry, like speeding between Joe and Iris, try to set up the blind dinner, as it were.
Yeah.
But no, a really good, solid episode with consequences. And Flash is something that kind of skirts over consequences sometimes, so I'm glad that it's dealt with them here.
Yeah.
So let us know if you think what you think about the consequences. Do you think they're just? Do you think blah 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 blah? Thoughts and theories on where we're going and what's the Dr Alchemy's up to. So that's I'm looking forward to the rest of the season now. I feel like they've done I feel like maybe the villain won't be as intimidating this time, but they're going to go more wacky with it. Like,
yeah, I'm interested on like what's Dr. Alchemy's purpose? What's his aim?
yeah, I'm really. And who is he really?
Yeah.
He's a Wells. He's a Wells from some other Earth. I'm calling it now.
Ah, God damn it. More worlds.
Oh, God. Like and subscribe, guys. Let us know what you think in the comments. Keep watching the TV. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.